To me, the great hope is that now these little 8mm video recorders and stuff are coming around. Some just people who normally wouldn't make movies are going to be making them, and suddenly one day some little fat girl in Ohio is going to be the new Mozart, and make a beautiful film with her little father's camera recorder. And for once, the so-called professionalism about movies will be destroyed forever, and it'll really become an art form.
Long before the harrowing allegations were made against MrBeast, the explosive accusations calling into question the very human ethics of his business practices, Jimmy had his own concerns about the content he was making. Specifically, what kind of video is really worth making on the internet? It's a question we should all ask ourselves, both as so-called content creators and as content consumers. What would you do to get some views? I'm not going to be covering any of the claims made against MrBeast in particular. There's a war chest of videos already made on the topic from investigative reporters, eyewitness accounts, and your typical reaction content farmers. My thoughts in this video relate to a long-standing debate surrounding the quality of internet content in general, and criticism of the growing rise of the popular short-form videos that are sometimes referred to as ephemera. MrBeast is still part of the discussion here, but I won't be diving deeper into his particular drama or using too much of his footage here. This is a more important conversation about what happens to YouTube after MrBeast falls off, which we haven't seen happen definitively yet, but it could be inevitable for reasons stated, but also for reasons I will explore here. It was about a decade ago that, yes, MrBeast would begin his climb to YouTube dominance, posting ridiculous challenges on his channel for clicks, such as the very impressive and still very pointless feat of counting to 100,000. A few years before this trend of doing outrageous stunts for maximum viewership became Jimmy's signature phenomenon, a veteran of entertainment weighed in on the state of the internet culture and YouTube in particular. One of my idols, actually, Mr. Jerry Seinfeld. In a promotion for his show Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Jerry very controversially called the internet, and by extension YouTube, a, quote, big garbage can. His reasoning, in what was perhaps a facetious if not also hypocritical manner, was that user-generated content was invalid because it wasn't done by professionals. To Jerry, he would rather be at the top of the pyramid than to be a lone creator in a sea of attention seekers. Now, in truth, it was a bit hypocritical from Jerry, who had found great success post-Seinfeld on his web series Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. It's unlikely that Jerry would have found new viewership outside of network TV, to which he was accustomed to producing for, without an internet audience, and later the big backing of internet vendors such as Crackle and Hulu. Jerry's thinking here relies on the assumption that user-generated content is inherently of low quality and mass-produced for quick consumption. While there is a correlation between the ease of access of being able to upload a video single-handedly and the modern capabilities of quick turnarounds in video editing, there is nothing in particular separating a YouTube video from the curated programs that are shoveled into streaming services for the hope of retaining paid subscriptions. Except for one thing: you. The problem is, YouTube was always designed specifically for people like us, like you and me. Those of us that didn't grow up in show business under the Hollywood sphere of influence. Those of us that didn't have big production budgets to work with. Those of us that did not desire to undergo humiliation rituals to earn a contract deal with studios. Not naming names specifically. YouTube was aptly named as a platform for people worldwide that wish to share their art, their lifestyles, their wisdom, and their connection to the culture in real time, and for the archive of the future. With the rise of TikTok and short content designed for capturing fast attention spans in the here and now, we have seen the resurgence of the word ephemera to describe attention-seeking material that serves only to distract us long enough to keep us idle, that is, until we can find the next piece of momentary gratification to wash over us. Everything about our news cycle is based on instant results. Who can get to the clicks first for the higher web traffic? Gone are the majority of long-form investigative insights into a person's mind, unless you search for the buried podcast that suits your intrigue underneath the seemingly endless options now available on demand. It's a wealth of content. That's also a web of lies. Maybe. Some of it is fake, but I'm sure some of it has truth as well. This leads me to my own perception of MrBeast and others like him. MrBeast is someone I started watching sometime before he got really famous. My views on him relate to my views on ephemera merchants as a whole. I subscribed to him probably around 4 million in maybe 2018, which was during a period of rapid rise, even then for a relative newcomer. Personally, I never had a high opinion of his content. It seemed to me that his videos, whether they are staged or exaggerated, were ephemera created using low production values targeted to trend towards sensationalism. But of course, over time, billions of people have been captivated by Jimmy's harebrained stunt work. Who wouldn't at least pay a look at the man giving away PS4s for $1? I was always skeptical of the worth of such gimmicky videos, but I wasn't quite of the mindset that many have argued over the years that he bordered on exploitation. We'll leave that debate up to his critics with inside information. My thoughts were at least that his massive viewership and income would lead to some people getting charity in the name of goodwill, and more views and more clicks to keep the philanthropy going. After all, those of us that make videos do so to share with others, right? Well, no one wants to work so hard on a video to not get any audience members at all. No one wants their unique perspective to fade into obscurity. But I think we have to move beyond the metrics that drove Jimmy to become MrBeast in the first place. We have to return to the principle of personal filmmaking that inspired generations of artists. The era before the big Hollywood blockbuster pushed movies into inflated territory.
Nothing is so terrible as a pretentious movie. I mean, a movie that aspires for something really terrific and doesn't pull it off is shit, it's scum. And everyone will walk on it as such. And that's why poor filmmakers, in a way, that's their greatest horror, is to be pretentious. So here you are, on one hand, is trying to aspire to really do something. On the other hand, you're not allowed to be pretentious. And finally you say, fuck it.
Like we see now with the video game industry at large. We need to put passion over profit. MrBeast reminds me of another controversial content creator that I used to watch before she got big. That's SSSelling. I found her channel back when she had fewer than 1 million subs, back when she used to do actual content creation in the form of gameplay commentary videos and cosplay for the boys. It's a shame to see someone that began as a modest creator turn into an online caricature consumed by the thirst for more money, more clicks, at the expense of low-effort reactions. In the case of MrBeast, he always did over-exaggerated stunts for views. Or did he actually? Like myself and many of the top internet creators today, video games were the beginning and the main focus of MrBeast and people like Leah. The great thing about video games is that they give us the capacity for personal expression and creativity. There are massive potential issues concerning the copyrighted materials found in games. But for the most part, developers don't care about this very much because they want the free publicity, and the smarter ones understand the transformative potential of gaming videos inherently. Just as gaming was built from sandboxes, so was YouTube before the era of analytics. Nowadays, a good video idea is determined by audience trends and not what could be considered niche. Fame is valued over fun and experimentation. Then there's streaming, the very pinnacle of ephemera on the internet, where anyone with a camera or a video recording capture card can live relay their activities to interested parties. The vast majority of this content is redundant, which is often exemplified by the various clips channels that take portions of streams and upload them to YouTube, which has been deemed the archive by many streamers. For a long-standing period, Twitch didn't even allow most streams to be saved on their own platform, perhaps not seeing the worth in rewatching a stream that is more than likely to be composed mostly of brain-rotting moments in time. If you disagree with me, then just think about it. Your average speedrun stream ends in failure. Even if it doesn't, the best highlighted moments are best suited for stylized montages. You have just chatting streams about how the weather feels, and then you have hot tub time machine streams that really have no reason to exist when their unrated competitors exist on the other hub. For someone who studied filmmaking, an art form predicated on stylized performance and editing, I always understood intuitively the value that YouTube provides us. There's a degree of professionalism involved, and although the happy accident and the unedited take are still just as valid when done right, content creation is an art form that deserves to be archived if it's done well by people who put in thought beforehand. I'm not saying that all streams are pointless or that streamers are bad altogether. I just believe that the vast majority of streamers, by their own admission, don't really care about the content they make, and that's because most of them don't even make content, at least not the way that we're accustomed to on YouTube. They just sit there and look at a screen as text flows by faster than the eye can see. If something cool happens, an audience member might clip it and post it on the streamer's behalf. Those of us that make videos do it all by ourselves. Every video has a unique signature of the person who made it. There's a unique voice and editing style if you do it right, which is to do it by yourself. I've never made a video thinking that no one will watch it again. But if anything, I know that I had personal fun making it, and I will one day look back on it again, even if I don't end up with 100 million views. I wonder if Jimmy does that. I don't think YouTube and content creation can be simply about ad revenue and view counts any longer. It has to be about something more. It has to be about providing a real service made from passion and creativity and good conscience, or else Jerry Seinfeld will be proven correct. We might have a big garbage dump on our hands. Jimmy's push to shift to long-form video content away from his highly processed, algorithm-driven clickbait could be out of the desire to evolve from the format that brought him to the dance. Or it could just be a way to earn more ad revenue from longer watch times. I'm not going to be more cynical than a person needs to be here. There are enough people doing that already. I just hope that if he does continue to make videos that he makes them for the right reasons. And that goes for everyone. What do you want from YouTube?
Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain.